Papu and Communication Toastmaster Mohanapriya.
I start writing my script only after signing my name for the upcoming Toastmaster meeting. It was like registering for marathon and then Googling how to start running the day before. Sounds easy, right? This week, I need to give a speech about understanding your communication style. But understanding your communication style, it's like for me, like stirring a cup of coffee. So I was in a deep thought. Should I start with tall tale story or should I start with personal or professional story? Between all that confusion, I thought of having a cup of coffee to refresh my mind. As I stirred my coffee, every time the coffee spilled out of the cup. I tried everything, changing the angle, the speed, but the spoon determined to create problems. Finally, I gave up and asked my husband for some help. He took one look at my method and told, Priya, why don't you try stirring a little more gently? Oh, the problem was not with the spoon. It was my communication with the spoon. I was too forceful. My communication with the spoon can be compared to an overly direct and forceful approach, which did not yield the desired result. My communication with the style, as I already said, it's an overly direct and forceful approach. Sometimes if you try hard, the things get messier. It's all about finding the right touch. The lesson with the spoon got me an experience. Lesson with the spoon helped me understanding communication not deals not just with the object but also with the people we care about most. Which brings me a recent experience with my 8-year-old daughter and her journey in an online French class. I enrolled her in a class with the I enrolled her in a class with age ranging from students 8 to 40. I noticed her, she is the most junior in the class. Being the first day, she was all her smiles and energy, like a puppy chasing its tail. As the days pass by, I can see her a loss of interest and feeling afraid and throwing tantrums if I ask her to attend the class. I was like a Google map. I was like a person felt like feeling using Google Map with no signal, completely lost. So that week, I didn't force her to attend the class. The days passed by. So on that weekend, while playing with her with super mom politeness mode on, I asked her, Papu, what make you to refrain from attending French class? Don't you like the subject or a teacher? She was very quiet for a moment, like a little Alice in her own mysterious wonderland. By seeing her reaction for a moment, I thought, should I bribe her? Or should I threaten her? Or should I give unlimited ice creams or chocolates? But instead of that, I tried something called radical listening. So next day, with a big smile and most patient voice, I asked again and assured I was there to listen, not to judge. This time, she looked at me and said, Amma, I don't understand the words they are teaching. It's too hard to remember them. That was my light bulb moment. After hearing this, instead of approaching her teacher for the situation, I made her a deal. And the deal was, Papu, can we play a game after your French class every day? She nodded her head, and the game was writing down the words of sentence used in her class in a sheet of paper. And after finishing her class, we discuss them together and we stick it in a wall of living room or any other area which is visible for her sight every day. It was happens like a habit for every day for a month. By seeing all the papers on the wall, my husband teased, Priya, probably we would make local stationery guy rich this month. But for me, these papers were not just decorations. They were little stepping stone of connections and progress. So as the month passed by, during the revision test, her French teacher asked some of the questions so far discussed. To everyone's surprise, she confidently answered among all of the senior students in the class. So that time I noticed if I force her like forcing my coffee spoon, she lost her interest and refused to attend the class. Instead of that, I politely spoke with her and walked with her like a catalyst. And now she completed her French A1 level certification. Sometimes I wonder who is really learning here, myself or my daughter. Parenting is one big on job training program. This approach of patient, empathetic listening combined with support reflects a collaborative and nurturing communication style. So, my dear Toastmasters, understanding your communication style, it's not about speaking, it's all about learning, listening, and building the bridges, whether it's at work or at home. Am I right, my dear Toastmasters? Over to you, Toastmaster Jarish.
Mohanapriya speech. Before that, Toastmaster Sneha, could you please give your brief introduction? Over to you, Toastmaster Sneha.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rajeshwari. So myself, I am from Mass Articulate Corporate Club, which is at Olympia Tech Park. I've been a Toastmaster for the past, like, I think 10 to 11 months. And I'm currently the VP of that club, and I'm a data engineer by profession. So I also do other kind of volunteering activities in my weekend time. So primarily, I take my time to be with underprivileged kids, teach them or support them in some fundraising-based activities. So this is the brief intro about myself, and I think I would like to start the evaluations for Toastmaster Mohanapriya. So first of all, thank you so much for the great speech, Toastmaster Mohanapriya. It was really nice listening to you. To move on to the speeches commendations, I would like to give you an acronym of year. So you ended your speech by exactly saying that communication is about listening to. So this perspective struck me. And with EAR, I would say you mentioned about empathetic listening, where the catalyst of your child's French class, where you had to devise a strategy to make sure the class went good. Similarly, you used analogies where you were stirring your the cup. You found your communication style linked with the spoon, how to effectively use a communication style in a real life example. And also you mentioned about the radical listening style, where you had to listen, not to judge your child because she was scared about her class. So I was able to capture so much preparation on how many styles of communication you had gone through for this particular speech. And all the examples that you quoted were so authentic and honest. And it was directly from your life and it was so pure. And then with respect to your pathway, I had already mentioned that you're from the motivational strategy pathway. And similarly, the examples that you quoted were really, I feel that it would be motivation for everyone hearing you. How you form your own methods to make sure your child is attending the French class in a better fashion. And she's able to stand up in front of so many people who are elder to her. I think your child would have got surely motivated about your approach. Every speech has a downside and every speech has a scope for improvement. So moving on to the recommendations of this particular speech, I found that you were kind of seeing more on the right side and the left or sometimes down. I feel that you had thinking about what the next part of the script would be. So a little more preparation would reduce your time to see here and there and maybe directly focus on the screen or the camera in case of online. And I saw humor was there in many places where you had mentioned you were without signal but looking like a Google map, or you where your husband was quoting the papers around you. But they could have been added necessary pauses and maybe some more body language or voice modulation to make sure the humor cracks well with the audience. So to summarize the evaluation, I would say that empathetic listening, radical listening, and you had used beautiful analogies. All the examples were so authentic, and you were the source of motivation for your child and many people in this particular meet. The recommendations, you could have been prepared a little bit more, and humor part, you could have given some more pauses for that. It would have cracked well with the audience. And it was a great speech, and I hope to see your speech once.